Do you want to see me lose? Well, you're going to be able to do that in Lego 2K Drive. This is a game that I got exclusive access preview to play, courtesy of 2K Games, so shout out to them for having me here. For context of what this is obviously the game, but while I was at Legoland New York and playing the game, getting exclusive coverage of the game, we had a tournament that allowed me to race against a couple other people for a trophy and a 60-second shopping spree in the giant Lego store in Legoland, New York. And what you're watching is that race unfolding here. Now, Lego 2K Drive is a new game coming out in just a couple of days, or may already be out by the time you're watching this. It's on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PC, all that. It is the first of the Lego games being released by 2K, the people who typically do wrestling or all the other sports games that you know and love, Borderlands and the like. And this is a totally new thing for them. This is by the studio known as Visual Concepts, and I got like a whole bunch of footage. This is one of the things that I wanted to show you, just to show you like what like a competitive local race looks like. So I am competing against 3 other people. Their names, totally forget what their usernames are. But what had happened, I'll kind of relay to you what happened as I'm literally losing super hardcore here. I'm actually going to move myself a little bit lower down. I'm going to make myself a little smaller here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just like that. Just so you can kind of see everything here. Focus on the gameplay. But I ended up getting first place out of a cluster of 6 other people. My buddy Bricklandia was actually one of them. He's more of a creative builder, so he focused on the creative aspect, and I'm clearly like the Mario Kart and Lego gaming guy, so I had that advantage for me, and I went into the next round, which got me against 3 other people. And so, like I said before, this was for a chicken trophy, which, if I remember, there's going to be a picture of right here that I am not holding, but there's a 60-second shopping spree at the giant Lego store as well. So that was like a thing that they wanted to do for us as, you know, potential winners for this event. And, I mean, obviously, getting the chance to go to Legoland and experience everything about it without actually anybody else being there except the group of us who got to preview the game is really cool. So it's one of those things like, oh, you should be grateful that you're there in the first place. And, of course, I am. But, obviously, I still wanted to win this. So this was the first track. This was Butte Loops, or Butt Loops. It's Butte Loops. I got 3rd place in this race here. So I'm not actually playing right now. I have no controller in my hand or anything. You can see that the Lego 2K G2, like those are the computer names, or rather PlayStation names. They're not computers, but that's the way that they phrase it when they're doing their thing here. But anyways, I wanted to show me actually participating in the races because it does get pretty intense as time goes on here. And I have the ability to skip through a little bit here, just because, you know, you wait a little while in between each of these races happening, and this gives you a good idea of what actually competitive racing against other people looks like. When I'm doing my other videos previewing 2K Drive, they're not against anybody except computers. So this is actually what like competitive stuff looks like. And I was in the unique position where I got to go to San Francisco and preview this game for about 3 hours in different capacities at the 2K office. So I got to play this game before. I think everybody else who was a part of this lineup here did not play the game before the moment today. So, or the moment that this was all recorded, the same day it was recorded. So the other people that were up against me, they are like traditional gamers. They're not Lego people. So I have very deep roots in like the Lego community. So I had all the Lego people that were like behind me, cheering me on as I was doing my thing. And it was really cool to get that level of support and then see where I was heading with the races. So like you're seeing here, right? I had only raced on maybe a couple of these in the story mode, maybe occasionally with, you know, other people the first time I was playing, but this is generally a new experience for me. So taking these turns rather tightly, running into the blue flowers, which I had only discovered like part of the way through the actual tournament, that like you can run into the blue flowers and get boosting, and that by running into stuff you also get boosting capabilities. So you can really use that stuff to your advantage and get you ahead of the pack here. So the first race I got 3rd. The second race, you can see here, and judging by everybody else that's leading behind me in the pack, you can see on the mini-map down there, I'm actually doing really well. And this is where, you know, I had people behind me, and the way I get into, like, I don't normally get into, like, a competitive mindset, if you can believe it or not. I really don't. But I like to just focus and have it be quiet, so I'm not one of the type of guys that's like, rah, rah, Brian, you know, you should do whatever. I just like to laser focus on what I'm doing. So it's making good use in this track here, specifically, of the big open world of Bricklandia at different times of day. And you can see in the top right-hand corner, it's at 64, 65% of the track. So it's kind of like in Mario Kart, where you had Woohoo Island and other tracks, obviously, going around in one lap instead of just 3. So you're getting a variety of having, you know, a bunch of different types of tracks in all the different biomes, but then having one cohesive one as well. So getting each of these power-ups, I'm fairly, you know, versed in them at this point. This one is like a stun, but it doesn't help me as much when I'm up toward this area here because I'm by myself. I think it doubles as a shield. And if I leave it on me, I think if I get hit by something, it shields me. But what the thing is, ain't nobody really explained this while we were racing or beforehand or anything. You just kind of let it all happen. At this point here, I'm at 96% of the way through. I remember somebody behind me was like, Brian, you got this, you're good. And so I got that, and that was the first place victory there. I was very relieved that I was back into it because there was pressure on 2 points because I was the only Lego person who made it to the top 4. But I had also played the game before, and obviously playing games is my job, right? So I got to take the crown home as much as I possibly can. Beat the other person by about 3 seconds there. So now, with the third lap, is where it gets kind of interesting. So I'm going to skip ahead here a little bit. I'm actually recording this in a different way I normally do, and it works out really nicely. So this is Cat Scratch Freeway. And where I'm looking at is obviously the giant yarn ball. These things I haven't actually seen in the overworld, so this might be unique for the laps and whatnot. Obviously, you don't want to hit the yarn balls, or most likely you don't want to. But this is where things get a little bit extra spicy in terms of the tournament and everything else. So everybody is participating with the standard gear as far as I know, but there's also the bosses of the game. So, like the astronaut rover car, that's not a player, that's a computer. So you're competing against, like, these high-level computers as well as, like, just general people. Now, also, I don't know how those people got other cars. Now that I'm realizing it right here, I don't really know how they did that. I have the basic everything. I didn't customize anything. I didn't change anything. I just left everything as it is here. So you can see there's a slight differences in the car loadouts, which may or may not have helped me or hindered me. I'm not quite sure. I'm here in 8th place because my car took enough damage from enough power-ups in a given amount of time. So not only are you earning boosts and whatnot, but you're also trying to repair your car by colliding into other things. So this... Oh, sorry. This... I hit my spacebar by accident. The game has a bunch of different things going on at one time between, like, the power-ups and the reconstruction of your vehicle, getting more boosting, things like that. And you may have seen right there, a few seconds ago, there was a section where I was cutting through some grass, and it was like, hey, you're in a wrong section, right? There's some interesting things that happen coming up that I'll show you that pertain to, like, how the level is laid out. So, yeah. None of the core development team, as far as I know, was there that could really, like, work with me or talk through, like, what was happening if something happened to go wrong. So as far as I know, this was a day 1 version of the game without any patches or anything like that. So what you're seeing is what you're getting here. I was in 8th place. I go up to 3rd, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go separate myself from the pack here. Not going to mess with any of that stuff. And you can see myself, I'm, like, cutting through different areas, and that's kind of part of what you do here. You're not supposed to necessarily follow the track the whole way through. And this is where I think things get a little interesting. So here is where I think I lost in particular. So you see me land right here, right? I go right here. What happened? What happened? So I mentioned before on the left-hand side over here, I was like, oh, there's a section where it told me like, oh, you're out of bounds. It's not working out very well for you. Get out of there. So what happened? I'll explain what happened right here. Now, I'm not salty that I lost, but here's what I think happened. So right in this instance right here, I have these mines that can shoot out the front or the back, right? And clearly there's a road right there that, you know, you can obviously drive on a different lap situation. But the way the game works, I landed just before the yellow line right there. But player 2 right there landed just over the yellow line. In my opinion, as a game player, if I land on that road in any capacity, it shouldn't like assume I'm off course and then reload me here. It should allow me to race off and compete with where player 2 is right here. So because I land right actually on that yellow line, it respawns me behind where I would have been otherwise. So not only that, but I also lose my power up. So those two aspects, those two aspects right there, I think lost me this tournament. And again, I'm not salty. I'm just pointing it out. Because right here, you see there's a straightaway right here. I would have launched those mines ahead at player 2 right there, and that would have leveraged me to be in a much better position to get to, most likely to get to second place here. So the way things ended up happening, and I'll just spoil this for you because I've already talked about how I didn't win this competition, but it was based on the point system that was provided in the game, and I think they had their own calculations in some way, whatever. So it was between 3 people, basically, that we all rotated between first, second, and third pretty much the entire time. So I'll explain how the point system works and whatnot here, but you can see that I have third place right now, and I have 22 points, 24, 26. So it's like a 4-point discrepancy between everybody. It's a pretty tight race overall. So let me skip ahead to the next match here. I like this ability to do this. It works out really cool instead of needing to futz around with editing or anything like that. This one here is a bit different, and it's kind of Baby Park inspired because it's like a loop. Obviously, it's an infinite loop, so you're just going around in a loop and colliding with other people. It's 5 laps. It's much shorter than the last one here. So I don't know how, right? You saw right there, there was a computer player that had a zoom ability. I have no idea how that happened, but whatever. The spider ability here, you can see that it really hinders other players as they're doing their thing here. And so I got hit by one of those mine things. I'm launching out with my thing, and again, there's just other computer players there that are messing it up for everybody. So the mines are actually really cool in that you launch them out, and then they, in the event they don't actually hit anybody, they roll around the battlefield for a little while. So they stay there in case somebody happens to run into them. So you're not just stuck with one shot like a rocket or something. You actually have a little bit more of an opportunity to get somebody, which is really cool. And so I'm on lap 3. I'm in first place. I'm moving and grooving. I'm doing all right. I'm nailing these turns, man. Look at these turns, baby. Yeah, look at those turns. Yeah, it's great. And so I'm also getting another power-up just by being right there. Now, if I were pro gamer smart, I would have held on to that right there. And I'm obviously not looking at the mini-map. I'm not seeing where other people are. I'm not even factoring that in because I'm focused on just getting first place as swiftly as I possibly can. And so this is why I love Baby Park, man. I got that knowledge of the track layout and how it's moving. There are people behind me cheering me on and everything, but, you know, I end up going through, finding these little turns right here. These sort of things are what win it for you there. And just zooming through those flowers. I didn't realize the flowers did it that well. And I did end up getting first place here. So I got first, third, and third. And that lost me by 2 points for the person who ended up getting first place overall because they had placed, I think it was first, second, the entire way through. So that is technically a higher score than 2 firsts and 2 thirds, which I get it. This is kind of the equivalent standings here. So I unfortunately did not win this tournament. I didn't get the chicken trophy or the 60-second shopping spree in the big Lego shop, but that's okay. I still had fun. And you know what? it's whatever. Lego 2K Drive is a lot of fun. I got a lot more videos on it, but I wanted to share my thought process as I was doing the thing. And look forward to more videos soon, all right? Bye.